Good morning, Primary 6. Good to see you all. It is Friday, and yeah, we haven't had the best weather for the last wee while, but we'll make the most of it. We're just living indoors predominantly at the moment. Quick shout out in the comments. I'm seeing we've got Alyssa, we got Freddie, we got Chloe, we got Amira, we've got Callie, Karina, Megan. Great to see all of you guys there. Yes, Alyssa, I think I am live now. Hopefully you're seeing me. Hi. Michael, Zach, you've joined us now. Ailey, good to see you. Great to see all of you guys. Anyway, this is just going to be a short, I say that a lot, a short live stream today. A couple of formalities we're going to go over. And then I'm going to go over one maths question. Chloe, if you're listening, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you until like a couple of minutes ago, but I will make it up to you by going over the question that you asked about right here, right now, live in front of everyone, because there were a couple of people that asked about this question, and I'll just tighten up our way of doing it. Now I've got this is a nightmare. I've got my washing machine on the background, and it's vibrating a whole load of plates, and they've all just fallen over in the background. But you know. Anyway, things that we need to talk about. First of all, a quick thing. I'm going to do workload first of all. So we teachers, we're going back into school from Monday. So from Monday, us teachers are going to be back in the classroom, but there is a lot of stuff for us to be doing. And by a lot, I mean really quite a surprising amount. So we've got to try and manage stuff to do with transition for you guys when you go on to your next teacher. There's quite a lot to be done there. We've got to move all our classrooms if we're having to change classrooms for next year. Some of us are having to move classrooms, which normally we would have a class to help us do that, and we get it all done in about an hour, maybe 2 hours. Since we haven't got you guys there, for some of us, it's a monumental amount of stuff to move, and it's going to take a very long time to do it. So we've got all of that. Basically, there's a lot of stuff for us to be doing at school. Plus, we have to learn a little bit about how we're going to teach you guys next year, because it's not in August. It's not just going to be a case of you guys all coming back in the classroom and that's it. We're having to do something called blended learning, which is basically a mixture of real stuff in the classroom with a teacher, with a small number of kids, while the rest of you are at home doing learning like this. Just same old thing that you're now quite used to. So we're going to have to figure out ways of making that work, and that's the kind of thing we're going to be smoothing out over the next 3 weeks or so. So for that reason, it's been decided that we're going to scale back a little bit of the work that we're administering, and we're going to be only administering 2 lessons a week. 2 lessons a week? No, that would be too few. 2 lessons a day starting from next week. So from next week, you're only going to be getting 2 lessons a day. Sorry, I'm messing with the live screen. There we go, the green screen even. Oh, it's glitched out all over the place. Let me see if I can fix this in the background. So yeah, that is one of the more significant changes that's going to be going on at the moment. But you know, what I would say is just make sure you're working harder on the work that we do administer. Okay, there might be less of it, but do it to a higher standard if you can. Now, my class, just a quick thing. Well done to those of you who are posting on the class notebook. I greatly appreciate that. I've given everyone who posted a piece of scene setting, I've given you a piece of feedback on it. Please go and read your feedback. Okay? In fact, don't read it. It's not written. It's in audio form. So listen to your feedback. I was really quite specific with it. I tried to give you really good quality feedback. So I want you to go and find the audio file. It will be either on your class notebook, or if you posted it in the literacy channel, it will be attached to the thing that you posted. Listen to your feedback, and I would encourage you even to potentially do a redraft based on the comments that I gave you. Might be worth working on. Anyway, that's some workload stuff. Head boy and head girl. We need to start thinking about that now. Now, I don't want you after this to go away and try and write a head boy, head girl speech. That's actually going to be one of our lesson focuses for the next week or two. We're going to talk to you about what would go in an effective head boy or head girl speech. But basically, you have to apply every year. You know, if you think back last year or the year before, the P6s apply every year to be head boy or head girl. Now, as Nathaniel's saying there, he doesn't want to be head boy. That's absolutely fine. I wouldn't have wanted that job either when I was your age. I had no interest in being head boy. It was never my thing. It all depends on the kind of person you are, whether you feel up to that. However, we are wanting everyone to practice, and this is later down the line, so don't go thinking about it too much just now. We are going to want everyone to practice writing a speech like that. Doesn't have to be necessarily for head boy or head girl, but it's important to know how to sell yourself in the real world. So for instance, if you're going for a job interview, knowing the kinds of things to say, the points to bring up about yourself is actually really, really important. So regardless of whether you want to be head boy or head girl, regardless of that, everyone's going to be doing some sort of application just for the practice of it. But like I said, that won't be until not even next week, it'll be the week after next. But I'm telling you now, so that if you're one of the people that really feels like you want to be head boy and head girl, you can start thinking about it. You know, you can start those cogs turning in your head, and you can be thinking, right, well, what would a good head boy or head girl do? What would they say? You might, and I can tell you there's lots of examples on this on Microsoft Stream at the moment, you might want to go and look at some other people's video applications that they've put in from other schools. So just by chance, I was on this thing called Microsoft Stream. So if you go to 365 and you'll see Teams somewhere, don't go to Teams, look for the thing that says Stream instead. And if you go to Stream, it might come up with recommended videos. It did for me. I don't know whether it did for you, will for you. But there were a whole load of videos that were coming up, and it was of other learners across the city, mainly high school. I think they looked about 5th year. So they were maybe 5th years applying to be head boy or head girl for their high school in 6th year. But a couple of them were really good applications. They were really well worded. And so if you have a great passion for this sort of thing, it might be worth doing a little bit of research and looking up how some of the older guys are going about their application. Okay, so that's something for you to think about if that's one of your aspirations. Now then, I'm noticing lots of people in the comments saying, who's our teacher? Who's our teacher? I don't know. I don't know, genuinely. I'll tell you the things that I know, although I'm not actually going to tell you the things that I know. But I know, or we teachers, I will tell you, do know what year groups we're going to be with, but we don't yet know what classes we're going to be with. You will be told soon enough. Okay? So I know which year group I have. I don't know which class I have yet, and I'm not going to say whether it's your year group or your class or a different year group or a different class. That's not the kind of thing that we reveal at this stage. So frankly, us teachers, we just keep quiet about it, because actually, in truth, things can change very last minute. I in the past have been told, oh, you have this year group next year, and then all of a sudden, just like almost the day before I'm due to meet the class, then it turns out I have a completely different year group in a completely different class. So things can change surprisingly last minute, because we don't even know, at this point in the year, we don't even know all the teachers that are going to be in the school. Sometimes staff change. Sometimes staff leave, sometimes new staff join us. So that's why things are always quite last minute. You'll just have to cope with that, guys, okay? I know it's frustrating, but it's the way it is. Okay, so a little bit of maths then. Now, there was a question that was trickier. I thought it was quite a good question, actually, because it forced you to think. And I like questions that force you to think. Now, there's lots of ways of going about this question. I'll flip views just now. We'll go to the active Inspire view here. Now, you were looking at distance, speed, and time, and most of them were okay. A couple of them a little bit on the tricky side, but this one was fun. This was a good one. So, we know what the time is. So we know that we're working out that it takes 3¼ hours, 3.25 hours, to go the distance of 195 kilometers. We're being asked, what is our average speed? Okay, well, we know then from this formula that speed, I'll type it out, speed equals distance divided by time. So we basically need to take the distance and divide it by the time. Or in other words, let's make my font a wee bit bigger. Oh, maybe not, it's not letting me. In other words, in this case, we have to do 195 divided by 3.25. 195 divided by 3.25. Now, that's tricky because, dividing it by 3, yeah, that's doable. But dividing it by 3.25, that's a little bit trickier. But not impossible. All of you could do this if you think about it right. Okay? So, you could lay it out as a standard division sum. Like so. Okay? And you could have 3.25 there. And then our 195, it's really hard to write with a mouse pad, I apologise, 195 there. Okay? And if you did your 3.25 times table, you could probably get that to work, probably, but you know what? Decimal remainders, you're going to end up with decimal remainders, that's just a nightmare. Like that's not fun. So you know what? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. In truth, if I'm being completely honest with you, I would use a calculator. Alright? So you can get the answer very quickly and easily by using a calculator. But, I know some of you are purists. Some of you feel, no, I want to do this based on my own metal, based on my own knowledge and understanding of mathematics. And to you people out there, I salute you, because you are the true mathematicians in this world. So, how could you do it easier? Well, you know what? I'm not a fantastic mathematician, but and there's probably an easier way of doing this. But the way I would approach this, is I'd get rid of the decimal point. So this here, it's not 3.25 anymore. It's not 3.25. It is now 325. You might be thinking, no, that makes it worse, Mr. Green. No, you don't do that. That's like dividing by hundreds. That's madness. Actually, I think it's easier than divided by a decimal. I'll show you why. Now, the bit that's tricky is you will have to write out your 325 times table. And you might be thinking, oh, that sounds like it's really hard. But you know what? You know your 3 times table. And you know your 25 times table, you just kind of put them together. So we got 325, then we're going to have 6, and what's 25 more than 25? 50. Then we're going to have 9, and it's going to be another 25, 75. This bit's the bit that gets a little bit trickier, because it would go 3, 6, 9, it would be 1,200, so 1,275. But then we have to add another 25, so it's going to be 1,300. Then we're going to go 1,625. And you know what? This is the bit that takes a little bit of thinking. Figuring this out. Figuring out your 325 times table. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but it's definitely doable. 1,950. Then, so from 19 we go 20, 21, 22, so it's going to be 2275. And you get the idea. Okay, so we've got the bulk of our of our 325 times table. So we've got 1 times it, we've got 2 times, we've got 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times 325. Okay, right. So now we can just do this like a normal division sum. Now, it's going to take a bit of work, but you'll see how it works. So, how many 325s are in 1? Well, none of them, obviously. 1's a tiny number. 325 is huge. Okay, so none there. And we carry the 1 or exchange the set of 100, whatever you want to call it. We move the thing that we haven't used, we move it to the next column down. Simple as that. Any remainders gets moved a column down. How many 325s are in 19? Well, still none. There are no 325s in 19. How many do we have remaining then? Well, 19. We still need to use that 19. We're just going to have to move it down a column. Okay, we're getting closer now. Right, okay. How many 325s are in 195? Still none. 195 is still too small. Oh no, we've run out of numbers. We've run out of numbers. What do we do now? Like, I can't... Oh yeah! We can do decimal points, can't we? That's the bit that we often forget. So I do my decimal point, 0, and you know what? I just carry on. So, what was our remainder here? 195. Need to write a little bit small. 1, 9, horrible 9 there, I apologise. 1950. Let's try and make that 9 a bit better. I'm probably going to make it worse. There we go, almost. Okay, well now, we need to make sure our decimal point's there as well. Now then, how many 325s are there in 1950? Well, oh my goodness, there actually is a 1950. It's 6. Okay, so if I was taking 195 and dividing it by 325, I get the answer 0.6. But the problem is, we made this 100 times bigger. So we're dividing it by an answer that's 100 times bigger, 100 times too big. Which means that because we've divided it by something 100 times too big, our answer is 100 times too small. 100 times too small. So we got the answer. Sorry, my working's going a bit all over the place now. Let me try and tidy things up a little bit. So we got the answer 0.6, but we know that's 100 times too small. So let's have a think about this. We've got our hundreds column, we've got our tens column, we've got our units column, we've got our decimal point, and then we've got our tenths column. And let's lock all that in place so that it doesn't accidentally move when I do the next thing here. So we know that we've made that 100 times too small, this answer. So we have 0.6. Okay. I should really have a decimal point in there, actually. Let's put our decimal point there. Fine. We'll make sure that doesn't move either. Right. So, that's 100 times too small. Means we need to make it 100 times bigger. So, let's make it 10 times bigger. Bop! There, that's 10 times bigger. Let's make it 100 times bigger. Bop! There we go. So, zeros fill any of the gaps. And what do we have? Well, we have 60. 60. So our answer, if we've done it right, if 195 divided by 325 is 0.6, then 195 divided by 3.25 must be 0.6 times 100, or in other words, 60. Now, just to check things out, let's check it with a calculator. Am I right? 195 divided by 60. No, 60? No, 3.25. Oh, I've done that horribly wrong. Clear it. How could I mess that up so badly? 195 divided by, second time lucky, 3.25 equals 60. Bang on. There we go. You know, I've just realised I've got a division key on my keyboard. This whole time, I didn't know I had a division key. Does it let me type with the division sign? No, it doesn't. It just does a slash. What if I do that? Nope, still just does a slash. Never mind. But there you go, guys. That's how I would tackle that question. Hopefully, it makes sense to you. I'm just looking through the comments now, and I'm a little bit behind, but hopefully you're all kind of following along with that there. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's basically as far as we're going. So I'm only covering that single maths question there, unless we want a bonus one. The other one that was a little bit tricky. Let me pull it up here. Is still not as tricky as that one. That one was the trickier one. But we had a different one that was. So I've got a really itchy nose. It's annoying. We had one where. Oh, it's not letting me type it. Oh, it's obviously not meant to be. So we have a speed of 95 kilometers. Why is that disappearing? Okay, I've got some sort of weird glitch going on here. There we go. Speed of 95, distance of 332.5, and we're being asked what time did that take. So let's take our distance, speed, and time thing here. This one should be a quicker one. So we're being asked the time. Let's get rid of these ticks here. So we know that it's basically the distance, 332.5, divided by the time, 95. So, to be honest, I'd write out the 95 times table. That's the way I would do it. Without any division using a bigger number, yeah, you can do this thing called long division, but you know what? Here's a guilty secret. I'm a teacher, right? I don't know how to do long division. I never learned it. No one taught it to me. I got really good marks in high school with maths. I never learned long division. Didn't need to, all the way up to higher. Okay? My guilty confession is I just got a B at higher. And I should have got an A. And I'm gutted about that. But maths was something that I was alright at high school. And I managed to get through the whole lot without learning long division. You don't need to do it. So I would just write out the 95 times table and then just do our standard division. So we do 332.5. And I know a lot of you will be sitting there thinking, but I don't know the 95 times table. Neither do I. Neither do I. You work it out. You can work out any times table. It's just, times tables are just repeated addition. As simple as that. So if we're wanting to work out the 95 times table, we have 95. Then we're going to have 190. Then we're going to have... Oh, I've done something wrong there. I'm cheating and using my calculator because I'm doing this live, and I don't want to take too long doing it, but I would happily work it out in my head. Then we're going to have 380. Let's just do one more. Then we're going to have 475, and let's see how far that gets us. So dividing by 95. How many 95s are in 3? 0. Carry the 3. How many 95s are in 33? 0. Carry the 33. How many 95s are in 332? Well, it's a bit of an annoying one, but that would be 1, 2, 3. 3 of them. Remainder, you know what, I'm probably going to have to do an extra sum here. We're going to have 15 plus 32. What's that? 32 plus 15. 47. There we go. decimal point there. How many 95s are in 475? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So it would have to be 3.5. So our time would be 3.5 hours for that one. Anyway, guys, that's your lot. I really am going to stop there. But those were the trickier questions from yesterday. Hopefully you now understand how to do them. Hopefully it didn't melt your brains too much. If it did, go back and watch it. Even you can rewatch this whole live stream if you want. Don't watch the whole live stream. That would be ridiculous. But go back and watch the part where I was explaining it and slow it down. Listen to me try and explain it at 0.5 speed, and see if that helps it sink into your brain a wee bit more. But yeah, go for it. Anyway, hopefully that's clarified that. Anyone that wants to have a meetup, I've not got a Philosophical Friday topic, to be honest, guys. But if you want to have a meetup, just a social thing, or chat over any things that you are unsure of, we'll meet at 11 o'clock for my class. Everyone else, have a think about your feedback that you were given for your writing. And if you haven't listened to your feedback yet from my class, go and do that now, because some of you have given like 2 to 4 minutes worth of feedback. So I'd prefer if you listen to it, because doing that for everyone was quite a lot of work, but you were worth it. And your writing was worth it. It was good writing this week, guys, so well done. Anyway, signing off just now. Have a great weekend. See you hopefully on Monday, although I will be live streaming from inside the school on Monday. If I can. I will say the connection can be a bit dodgy inside the school, so it might not let me, in which case, if I don't appear at 10 AM on Monday, it's because the school has weird permissions that won't let me live stream. I'm hoping that won't be the case. I'm hoping I'll still get you on Monday, but we'll see. Hopefully see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Speak to you soon, guys.